beautiful Monday morning and it's time for a new culinary adventure. This time we headed to Lake Country after we received a phone call from Duggan's farm to inform us that the first asparagus picking had finally begun.
Hi. Oh, what a good dog you are, eh?
Asparagus has been cultivated for over 2,000 years now, and interestingly enough, belongs to the lily family.
This is a different variety?
A nutrient-dense food is a good source of potassium, fiber, vitamin B6, A, K and C. It has no fat, no cholesterol and is quite low in sodium. But to be honest with you, I don't need any more reasons to love this versatile and delicious vegetable. What I really wanted to do is to meet the people that grow it. I wanted to shake their hands and hear what they had to share. And let me tell you, it was such a pleasure to meet Bruce and his wife.
How long have you been farming asparagus?
Oh, 30 plus years. Normal kind of temperature. This time of year, we pick every third day.
Wow. How long is the asparagus?
I was delighted to notice how content and happy Bruce seemed to do what he loves, to grow asparagus. And I could just feel how over the years he had learned to pass that love on to his asparagus. And something magical happens when you meet the people that grow the food you eat. Your relationship with it changes because you want to honor the hard work and passion that went into it from people like Bruce.
But if I take it for too far into the summer, it eventually weakens the plant. And that,
Welcome back to One Big Table. Look at this beautiful asparagus. Just picked today, they're not only delicious, but they also means that summer is coming. So we're gonna celebrate the sun and this beautiful new season approaching with an Asparagus Bruschetta. If you've watched a few episodes of One Big Table, you should know by now that I enjoy really simple flavors. There is no need to complicate things when you're working with beautiful and true ingredients. We're gonna start with our asparagus. If you don't know this, all you have to do to clean them is just snap the bottom part off. The bottom part is kind of stocky and a lot firmer, more fibrous. Don't throw it out, it's great for composting, but it's really great to make stocks and prepare soups with it. Something you want to be careful with is that sometimes you get a big asparagus and a small asparagus. Well, it's important they're as close as possible to the same size. That way they're gonna cook together. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna cut my asparagus lengthwise. There. So they're fairly similar in size now and they're gonna cook all at the same time, and that's exactly what I want. Next step, I'm gonna grab my fresh tomato. Those are hothouse tomatoes, unfortunately, but it's still that time of the year where we kind of have to do with what we have. I'm just gonna dice my tomato up. My pan is getting hot. It's kind of medium to low heat. I'm gonna add a nice generous drizzle of olive oil. And of course, a good quality olive oil always makes a big difference. I'm gonna add my tomatoes right in here. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt. Just a little bit of chili flakes. And again, you've seen me do this a few times already. The dish is not gonna be spicy, but it's gonna add a nice little touch to the flavor. I have some beautiful basil here. I'm just gonna take maybe 4 or 5 leaves, and I can just smell how fragrant it is as I'm picking it. And I just love basil. It just makes me happy. You can break it right in there. One more, why not? And then a garlic clove. just gonna let the tomatoes cook for maybe 2 or 3 minutes. And what I'm looking for is that tomatoes are starting to break down a little bit. There is something just magical about the smell of garlic and tomatoes and basil together. It just makes you think about summertime. And the addition of asparagus is just gonna be beautiful and make for an exciting appetizer. So my tomatoes have broken down nicely now. I turn the heat up just a little bit and have a little bit of white wine. Dry white wine is always the best for cooking. Meanwhile, I'm gonna get my asparagus in the water. Lots of boiling water. My asparagus have been cooking for about 2 or 3 minutes, and you can tell they just sort of bend lightly, but if you try them, they're still nice and firm. So it's time to add my canned tomatoes from last year's harvest to my sauce. A little bit more salt. I turned the temperature slightly higher at this point, so we're medium to high. And I'm gonna add my asparagus right in there. A little bit more salt. I'm gonna allow the asparagus to cook in my sauce for about 2 or 3 minutes. I just wanna dry out the sauce a little bit, intensify those beautiful flavors. I'm gonna slice up a couple of nice pieces. And it's always a good idea to clean as you go. I simply love this dish. It's so simple, but it's so flavorful. And you don't see it too often, asparagus and tomato put together, but it's a beautiful combination. It really makes me think of the sunshine of summertime. So my bread should be ready. I have a clove of garlic here, and I'm just gonna give a little rub to my bread. The flavor of the fresh garlic is just gonna give the little extra kick that is gonna make extra delicious. I'm gonna put my bread right in the middle of the plate. I'm gonna take my asparagus. I'm gonna put them right on top of my bread. And look how beautiful this is. Put my sauce right on top of it. Nice and chunky, nice and rustic. Now, a little bit more basil. Basil is always a good idea. And break it up in your hand. You want to smell it. A little bit of Parmigiano Reggiano. What's the last touch? You got it. A splash of extra virgin olive oil. And here it is, our Asparagus Bruschetta. The smells of this dish are just fantastic. You can smell the basil, the tomatoes, the asparagus. It's the richness of the cheese. I know you're gonna love it. It's simple, it's delicious, and it's simply so fun to cook. But before I go, remember to support local. And you can support local right now by buying local asparagus. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Arrivederci.